definitely better.
Oh yeah.
This led into Gordon Solie with Ric Flair in the empty arena interview. And then that went into the match with Sting. This was a kind of fairly balanced match. They definitely wanted to show Sting's strengths here. They definitely wanted to make sure it looked like a struggle between the two, and that Sting was a contender with Ric Flair. There's a good back and forth. There was a weird thing that I noticed when towards the end of the match, Sting goes for the flying knee into the corner where he hits the turnbuckle, and then there's a camera focusing on the crowd for whatever reason, which was really, really weird to see there. Then that's when Flair went for the figure four, but Sting rolled him up into an inside cradle and pinned for the win. And there was a huge ovation for Sting. Both from I forgot to highlight this. There was a little bit of a lumberjack to make sure the Four Horsemen didn't interfere in the match.
Good stipulation. Good. It was good to have them around there. They're trying to delete all the obstacles that are possible as much. And I thought we had John Gonzalez or El Gigante, or whatever his name is. Gigante handcuffed. And
to Ole Anderson.
Ole Anderson. I thought that was good. So they're trying to make it to where deleting all the distractions, which I thought was okay. And it was a really good match. Phenomenal.
There's a huge celebration for Sting. Ovation again, like I said, from both the lumberjacks and the crowd. This was a huge deal. This is I think this would have been Sting's first world title.
Yep.
Taking off of Ric Flair, and honestly, not to take anything away from the Great American Bash, but I think this might have meant more if he won it at maybe a Starrcade. But it was definitely good to have here. Sting was face painted up with the American flag. If I remember right, this aired shortly after the 4th of July, so it was definitely within time frame of the actual 4th of July celebration. It was a good match, good deal. What did you end up rating it?
An 8.8.
Yeah, I ended up doing an 8 out of 10 as well. Mainly, I actually had to deduct. It would have been a 9, but that camera thing drove me nuts because what was going on here? This was one of the few ones that the finish made sense for the match or on the night. It definitely shows that Ric Flair was overconfident and Sting caught him with his pants down. But it was good overall.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a great match. Sting, man, he was the guy. I mean, he had, take away even his in-ring skills, his persona, his gimmick, his charisma, would just put him head and shoulders over everybody else. I mean, Ric Flair was the world champion, one of the all-time greats, and so forth. Absolutely, he makes his opponents look good and all. Of course, Sting was that persona, that gimmick, that charisma that just rose the show up a whole nother level, and it shows. I mean, he's a franchise, that company. When you think of WCW, that's the guy. That is the guy, and so anytime Sting.
Would you say that it would be almost as equal to say that Sting in this era, the 1990s of WCW, is basically what John Cena was of the 2011s?
In a way, yeah, definitely. I mean, he's what you would call. I mean, he's your go-to guy. Obviously, until Hogan came in and they kind of changed draft kind of thing. It kind of changed directions. But
which was complete garbage. They shouldn't have done that to Sting. It should have been.
They asked Sting as it feels like, yeah, that's cool. Bring him in. We'll make more eyes on this company. But
which is fine. But I'd rather see it as like a 3-man main event, if you will, because not to say WWF does everything right, but when they had Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and Triple H, there was always those three interchanging with one another.
Oh yeah,
it should have been Sting, Ric Flair, and Hogan.
Yeah, Sting was the guy, WCW, and I felt like he took the back seat for a while there, and it sucked. And I think when he had that match with Hogan at Starrcade, was it 98, 7? 7, I think it was, and it was a good way to show off, you know, hey, this is my WCW, and you're not, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, Sting is he is the franchise of that company. Now, even you think of that company, you think of Sting. But you know, I said when Sting's around, man, the energy goes up.
Yeah, and not to take anything away from Sting, but I think WCW, there's actually 4 names that pop in immediately. It's Sting, Ric Flair, DDP, and Booker T.
Yeah.
I mean, Goldberg is part of that as well for obvious reasons, but it just seemed like when it came to WCW, those 4 guys were the guys, and then a lot of them were kind of homegrown in WCW.
And Booker
or NWA.
Before Goldberg, so it's like, you know, it's he had a staple in his name, huh?
Yeah, and he was a tag team guy beforehand.
Tag team, yeah. He started off with that, one of the hottest tag teams of all time.
Legitimately, Harlem Heat.
Yeah.
They even had the fire on the trunks.
Yeah.
So not a bad pay per view altogether. It's weirdly lopsided.
Yeah.
With a lot of the matches, I mean, Brian Pillman, Rotunda, and Doug Furnas had basically what was matches to kind of make them look good. You had the Harley Race and Tommy Rich one, which was weird. The finishes was odd. The tag matches were great. The Midnight Express and Southern Boys and the Steiner Brothers with the Fabulous Freebirds. Although the 6-man tag was not very good. You had Vader's debut. You had Mark Callis, aka Undertaker, versus Lex Luger. You had Doom, which was not that great, against Rock and Roll Express in terms of the match. And then you had this great ending to it.
Yeah.
But that was our review of the Great American Bash. We'll do another classic pay-per-view next week or this week, however this is times out together. Well, on our next podcast, the one where we talk more about recent stuff, we'll go ahead and announce what that classic pay-per-view will be. But that's it. Do you have anything you want to add, Mark?
Yeah, just keep a heads up on Twitter, baller updates, and so we'll be doing a show here next few days. Appreciate y'all listening. Please share it with your friends. But it's good to have you just to join us too. Appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, you can find us on Spreaker, Spotify, and SoundCloud currently. That'll be it for us this week. And remember, Jay Leno's chin is not real.